Hey, it's Mother Funny Time with Andie and Angie.
2 cousins, 8 kids, 1 grandkid, 2 states.
And a whole lot of fun. Woo! Welcome back, Mother Funny Tribe. It's Angie and Andie. Again with you.
That was a huge breath you took.
It's like, remember when I had that episode where I had asthma and I was like trying to talk and trying to get air in my lungs?
That's what it reminded me of.
My lungs are fine today. My lungs are fine.
Everyone take a deep breath. We're going to practice some gratitude and exhale. We are thankful for the food we have eaten today. We are thankful for Hamburger Helper. At least
thankful.
Those on this side of the podcast.
No, on that side. Yes.
Those over here are thankful for gluten-free Hamburger Helper and for regular Hamburger Helper. Everyone on that side is still practicing gratitude.
We're still practicing gratitude. We're not thankful for certain foods, but we would if we should be thankful for all food. I don't know what I'm saying. But I told you guys last episode that I would look up Vienna Sausages. They have not raised too much with inflation. You can still buy a can for 93 cents.
I mean, that's impressive. I thought every single thing had kind of risen. Like the price of everything had risen with inflation, but that good old Vienna Sausages stayed true. It has stayed true. So
yes.
That's your bit of information. You're welcome, Mother
You're
Funny
welcome.
Tribe.
So we're back and we're here to help you beat inflation while feeding your families with as many tips or tricks as we can. We also want to know that you're seen, that there is, like Angie had mentioned last episode, there is a lot of anxiety that goes along with trying to feed your family on a tight budget. Like it's a stress that you carry that you don't really get rid of for a long time. It's something you think about waking up. It's something you think about going to bed, because what's the first thing you think? Like most moms, you wake up and you're like, okay, breakfast, okay, lunch, okay,
Time
dinner.
out. That is not true at all. I wake up and I think about coffee.
Oh, yes, no, that's fair. I stand corrected.
Not that I want to correct you, but
There's not many times when I let Angie be right without fighting her. This time.
Go on. Yes, coffee then food.
Coffee.
100%. Yes.
Creamer's expensive, coffee's expensive, everything's expensive. But yeah, we're constantly thinking of what we're going to make for the next meal. I know, like, and I mentioned this before, that like now that we're empty nesting pretty much, it'll be 6 o'clock and I've already thought about dinner. But maybe at this point I'd be like, we're either eating leftovers if it's Chris or I, just us two. I'll be like, we're eating leftovers or we can pick something up. But I've been thinking about that pretty much since the morning. Like I've thought through my day, what are we going to eat? What am I going to make? My husband comes down at 6 p.m. and he's like, hey, have you thought about dinner? And I'm like, I have thought about dinner since 1997. I thought about dinner. Like, I've never stopped.
The 1900s.
Since the 1900s, I've never stopped thinking about dinner. And breakfast and lunch. It's getting easier. But yes, we're always thinking about what we're going to feed our family. And here's the thing. My youngest is back home and now I have a third. Well, a second person going, hey, Mom, what's for dinner tonight? And I'm like, that's right. I have another person, which she's cool because she'll like, if she doesn't like what what I'm going to have, she'll be like, I'm going out with friends then. Like she'll just go find her own food. But yeah, it's a thing.
First of all, that's not encouraging at all, because those of us with little ones are like, one day I will not have to think about breakfast, lunch, dinner, and a whole bunch of snacks. And that's just not the case. We're always going to be thinking about food. So there's the reality check for you moms. You're
welcome.
Sorry.
We just hope you won't have to budget as tightly. Like literally,
right.
My son-in-law, when my son-in-law comes over, or even some of Shiloh's friends, the first thing they do when they come in my house is open the pantry. I keep snacks for my grandson my son-in-law, and my daughters.
I will say my mom was always really good about that. Like when I was a teenager, I'd come home with whoever. And this is kind of like before phones, like right before we even had cell phones. I would just show up at the house with a bunch of friends and my mom would automatically just start making food. Or she just put out food. Like I don't even know how she magically has food.
Tupperware.
Like whether it's prepared or she's literally like, oh, let me whip something up with these 5 ingredients that to me seem like they have nothing in common. And my mom can do that. I do not have that gift. We've shared that before about meal planning, which tip or trick, they say meal planning does help when it comes to budgeting.
Yes.
For those of you who do like to plan, and we do have a great meal planning podcast. You could go back and find that episode if you're looking into meal planning, because my sister is amazing at meal planning also. But for those of us who don't meal plan or who struggle with that type of organization, I mean, sometimes kids are like, just cut up the watermelon. Like that's one thing I found. If you have watermelon, grapes, and some crackers, like kids can also be pretty happy with that. At least it buys you time. That can give you like an hour.
Yes.
Right? Like water or Gatorade. Gatorade is good for any age. Have you noticed that too? Because even teenagers will have a Gatorade and they're not complaining. Preteens, Gatorade. Kids, Gatorade. Like, because, you can't really serve a 16-year-old some apple juice.
Oh, here's a big tall glass of apple juice. No,
so
it's true.
It's that part of it is some people are extra prepared and enjoy meal planning. Others kind of figure out what they can, or you just run to the grocery store real fast and you're like, wait. But again, like Andie talked about in the last episode, also kind of scanning to see what food was on sale that week, or like coupons really can help you. Remember when like couponing became that big thing? Do you remember like a couple years ago when it was like couponing, you could buy like 10 things for $1. I think that doesn't happen as much.
No, I think it's gone like where I don't even see coupons anymore. But you have to buy like a newspaper to be couponing, and I don't think people are buying newspapers anymore.
The only time we buy a newspaper is on Black Friday.
Yeah, that is the day. That is the day. Yeah. Though that I used to totally get the newspaper and clip coupons. Yeah, it was very helpful. But now, like, here's the benefit now. Like, yes, inflation's bad, but you can go through and find places. Now, it stinks to have to go to different stores. Like, you know how hard it is to go to one store with your kids and to have to go to like 3 stores because you can't get everything or everything's not on sale. If you're really budgeting, you have to go to multiple stores, right? You can't just get everything at Ralph's or Vaughn's or where do you shop? Piggly Wiggly?
Piggly Wiggly? No. Hey, guess what opened
Publix.
by us?
What?
H-E-B. Heb.
Oh, I've never been there.
Yeah, it's not really in California. One just opened. It's huge. It's a big, giant store. I went there for the first time today in case anyone wants to know. H-E-B stands for Howard E. Butts. And that is the owner of the grocery store.
I love that so much.
And they have tried to say, H-E-B has tried to say it means here everything's better. But that's not the case. H-E-B is named Howard E. Butts. And personally, I love that. Like, that was the guy's name.
I had no idea.
And he was like, I'm going to own this. Like, this is my name. I'm going to have a store named after myself and just own it. And he has all these H-E-Bs. It's like a thing. It's a grocery store. It's really big. It's not like a Target. It's not like a Walmart. I can't even explain it. You just have to
like
go.
A Buc-ee's?
It's not like a Buc-ee's.
Like Buc-ee's.
Buc-ee's stands alone.
I would shop anywhere that's called Howard E. Butts.
Well, and my kids aren't allowed to say butt. They're only allowed to say booty. Because like they're twins.
I have a story about that. No joke. This kid, he's 25 now, or 20. Yeah, he's 25. Great guy, but when he was raised, he was taught that butt was a bad word. So he was much older when he realized that butt wasn't a bad word.
Oh,
he was in much older. He's like, I thought it was a bad word for so long.
Really?
Yes.
I mean,
he said bottom.
He would. He probably was homeschooled.
For a bit.
Homeschoolers say rump.
pork rump, pork booty. It's a cooking episode. Howardy booty.
Well, that's the thing. Anytime we pass it, my kids just start yelling, Howardy Butts! Howardy Butts! Because they can say it, because that's his name. So, yes, there's that. No, we have like Kroger out here, Tom Thumb. Okay, we're going to talk
Tom
about
Thumb.
grocery stores, people. Let's tell you.
do it.
Let me tell you about a grocery store story.
Okay, first I'm going to say I want to hear your story, but the best discount, like the best prices of food that inflation hasn't hit as badly is Trader Joe's. Trader Joe's inflation is minimized.
Shout out.
Yeah. Okay, but I want to hear your story.
Okay, if we're going to talk about Trader Joe's, they also have chocolate that's 72%.
Yes.
Which, if it's like 72% cocoa powder, it's considered a superfood, and it's not considered being indulgent.
Dessert.
Yes. So if you want chocolate, it has to be 72% or higher, and it's only $2 there. Where like at Sprouts, it could be $4.
Yes. Chocolate bars do not need to be, well, I guess if you want to make it humanely, Trader Joe's did get in trouble for their chocolate. But Howard Butts.
Howard E. Butts.
E. Butts. It's a great, like, there's some really great priced things at Trader Joe's that are still cheaper than other places. But what's your grocery store story?
So this was a couple years ago. We'd gone to the pumpkin patch. So we were like, it's October, okay? We were in Rockwall. We went to the pumpkin patch. I had all 4 girls. I had Cole. It was like, we're going to the pumpkin patch with like my sister, my mom, my cousin. Like we were all there at the pumpkin patch. And then I was going to go to my parents' house because I think it was Darcy's birthday. My middle sister is Darcy's birthday, or is close to her birthday, so I wanted to give her birthday present. And then also I think my mom was going to feed us dinner because it's my mom.
Of course.
So I think she was going to feed us food. I think we had lunch at Danielle's house, and then I was just there all day. So going from like the pumpkin patch and Danielle's house, I was like, oh, it's Darcy's birthday. We're celebrating her birthday, so I needed to go to the grocery store to buy her a gift card, which would then be her birthday present. Because that's how far in advance I think of things. So then I'm at the grocery store and I'm like, oh my gosh, these pumpkins are super awesome. And they were on sale and they were really cheap and they were like really well shaped and really good shape. So I was like, you guys pick out your pumpkins. So I have all these pumpkins, and then it's the grocery store and you can't just go and buy like one gift card because then you have to buy the card also. But then it's like, oh, well, let's grab this and this. So I end up going for one gift card. I end up with like a whole basket.
Like $500 later.
Of like food that I wasn't even planning to buy, but I was there and I had all the kids. And you guys know, when you go to the pumpkin patch, like you're exhausted. By the end of the day, you're like, I am so tired. Like you're just spent. The pumpkin patch is so much fun, but by the end you're like exhausted. So I'm exhausted. I have all these pumpkins. I have all the kids. It's Darcy's birthday. And it was like, oh, let's get her a Disney gift card because she was going to go to Disney World. So we're at the grocery store and we're doing like, okay, self-checkout is amazing, but we didn't do self-checkout because it was a gift card. I get a little nervous doing self-checkout with my own gift card. I just get nervous. So the lady is like so great, and she's checking us out. We have the big pumpkins. Like you take the pumpkin out, and like it's just taking a while. So we do the gift card, and I was like, okay, please put $35 on this gift card. And she rings it up, and she goes, oh. And then she starts pushing buttons and she goes, oh no. And she starts pushing more and she goes, oh no. And then she like calls the supervisor over. She goes, my register just stopped working. And I was like, oh no. And I have 5 kids with me. And I'm like, oh no. Gosh. Okay. And then she's like, hey, you need to like take all your stuff and go over there to like customer service because the register is not working. And I say, okay. So we pack, everything's here and put it all. Okay. And I have my gift card. And then she goes, oh, and by the way, I might have rang it up twice. So there might be $70, not $35 on the gift card. And I was like, okay, thanks. So we might have to figure that out too. So I go over to customer service. And as I'm talking with the lady, and I'm like, can you just run this gift card? Because like she said it might be $70, but I only wanted $35. And I need to pay for all my groceries. Like she gave me a receipt that had like the amount with the groceries. So I have a whole like shopping cart. I have all the kids. I have all the food. I have this gift card that could be $70 or $35. I'm at the front of the store talking to customer service. And all of a sudden she goes, oh no. Oh no.
Oh, no.
Oh, no. And she goes, look at this. Register, shut down, register, shut down, register. And you saw it in order. All these registers. And she goes, oh my gosh, all the registers right now are shutting down. And I looked at her, I go, it's because I'm here. It's because of me. And she's like, it is not because of you. And I go, no, it is. I go, the weirdest, most random things happen to me. I can guarantee it's me. I somehow shut down all the registers at this Tom Thumb. And she's like, no, it's fine. And so all of a sudden, like, the manager's there and they're trying to like do all these codes. But in the meantime, more and more time is going by. So there's more and more people that are coming to the registers and everybody's just stopped and staring at each other because all the registers are shut down and they're on the phone and all of a sudden the manager's like, what gift card did you just run? And I'm like, it was a Disney gift card for $35. And they were like, okay. And he's on the phone. Anyway, so time goes on. And then I'm like, when do I leave? Like, when does this become unsafe? Because there's all these people. It's getting more and more busy. And people are just walking out. I mean, they're just like, forget it. And people would then start to walk in. And people would be like, the registers are shut down. And so then they'd turn around and leave. Like, it started to get, you know what, as a mom, when you're like, these pumpkins are not worth it.
Like, sometimes you just gotta let the pumpkins go.
And I was like, okay. And so I end, like, I mean, 10, 15 minutes. Like, it was crazy. And my kids are antsy. And anyway, they finally get all the like registers to start working. I pay for the gift card. I do what I need to do. We leave. And I was just like, oh my gosh, I know that was me. And anyway, so we get to my mom's house and something happens and Darcy like opens her like little gift card gift and something happens and they check it and they're like, no, this is wrong. Something was wrong with the gift card. And so I was like, oh my gosh. And so I call and I'm like, hey, something's like wrong with the gift card, this and that. And I'm talking to the girl. I was like, do you remember me? I'm the one with all the kids. And she goes, you said you shut down the store and all the registers? I said, yeah. She goes, I told you you didn't shut down. I said, right. She goes, no, you did. That gift card somehow shut down all the registers.
What?
And they didn't know why. They have no idea what this one Disney gift card, what it did. And so for some reason I had to go back. And then that's like the walk of shame. When you're walking into the grocery store that you
Everybody's
literally
looking at you. They've got tar and feathers, torches. Where's the lady with the gift card?
And so the store manager's there and we're talking and he's like, I've been on the phone with Disney to try to figure out what happened with that gift card that it shut down our entire store. And then the store manager tells me, he said, it's just been a weird day. Some lady walked in and she was kind of acting funny and she said, I need to talk to the store manager. And so they said, that's the store manager. And this lady walked up to him. She's like, you the store manager? And he goes, yeah, I'm the store manager. She goes, I got to tell you, your aura is off today. Your aura in this store is off today.
She put like, a curse on the gift card.
He goes, I don't even know what that meant, but I think my aura in the store is off today. It was wild. It was so random. There was a good like year that went by when I did not buy any gift cards at grocery stores. Like I was so nervous. I was so nervous. And now
you're going to crash the economy with your gift card buying. Like no one's going to be able to buy food. Stores are going to go under. Food's going to rot.
And the girl asked me, she goes, how did you know you crashed all the registers? And I said, because it's me. I have the most bizarre things happen to me in my life. I just know this is like par for the course. This is how my life is, and it's always been this way. Anyway, it was the first time for that store to ever be crashed by a gift card. First time. Never happened before. I hope it never happens again because it was scary. I was concerned people were just going to start leaving and not paying for their food.
Like looting. Yeah.
You didn't know. I was nervous. So that's my grocery store Tom Thumb story. I will tell you every single time, like I buy a gift card, like I genuinely am nervous and I'm always kind of looking around too, like who's around here? Who's going to know?
How much fresh food do I have? If you had Vienna sausages, they'll keep for years in the tin can. Or a Hamburger Helper, just without the meat, if you just did the box of noodles and sauce.
There you go. There you go.
Well, yeah. Grocery stores, am I right?
I don't know where to go from there, but when
I
you were talking about it, I was
yes,
like, oh,
that
grocery stores.
Crazy. So let me tell you what can make, in a typical case, a better experience for a grocery store. This was a different circumstance. It was a birthday. But I have a friend, and this is genius. You know, if you have to go to different stores, she does all her meal planning, grocery shopping online for pickup the next day. And then they tell her when a grocery is ready, she goes, gets in the little pickup. That is the best thing to happen since, like, from COVID, is all of the curbside pickups. That is the silver lining to a terrible thing. Like, you can go, and if you have kids, it's nap time, and you don't want to, like, my son would scream around the grocery store when I was trying to shop. If I had curbside pickup, that would have been fantastic. Order it at night. All your best deals. Sometimes there's even coupons online. You could go to like 3 stores. I won't even bring up Instacart because that could be pricey. But
no,
yeah.
This is genius. That is genius. I love that idea.
And then you're not spending extra stuff on things you wouldn't, like, you know, when you're at the store, you're like, oh, gluten-free Hamburger Helper.
That is kind of how we came upon it.
You might miss out on some life-changing purchases too. But yeah, like, you know exactly how much you're spending. It's in your budget. And then all you have to do is drive. They put it into the trunk for you. Drive to the next place, put it in the trunk. My friend who has older kids, her kids are all teenagers. She does it and it works for her. And I love it because even now, like, I don't enjoy going in grocery stores anymore. I used to. I don't anymore.
I want to tell you, when COVID hit and everything was being converted from like regular registers to like self-checkout, I was bitter. There was a moment when I'm like, man.
Really?
Because I like to like get the magazine and read the magazine quickly while I'm waiting in line. And I'm like, I can't read the magazine quickly while I'm waiting in line. Because then I put it back. Sometimes I buy it, but I usually don't. But then I am so good now at self-checkout. Like, I don't want to brag, but I am so much faster that even if I have a shopping cart full of groceries, like, unless there's like a gift card, I am going to do the self-checkout. Like, I am so fast at it, and it is so fantastic, and it makes shopping so much easier for me personally, because then I could even bag it how I want and like group it into like special categories. So again, one of the positives, I mean, COVID was horrible, and we don't need to talk about that. We already did. But that is a benefit. However, Cole is almost 4, and now he likes to help me.
I'm like, he wants to scan it.
Yes. All of it. Every single one. And if we miss one, he gets very upset. And then like they come over and we have to like delete the item so he can scan it.
That's the worst, when you're stuck at self-checkout and you see everyone's busy. You're like, I guess I'm here for the rest of the day.
I know. He's like, I help you. And I'm like, no. In my head, no, please don't. So yes, that is different. When I was getting ready for this podcast, one of the like tips or tricks, or like, hey, here's some good advice on like how to save money or how to handle the grocery store as a mom. One of it was go grocery shopping alone. And I was like, you do not have to tell moms that twice.
I know. Yes. If a mom has a chance to go grocery shopping alone, 100%.
So that's your excuse, moms. If you're like, kids are like, I want to go grocery shopping with you. You're like, we got to wait till daddy comes home. You're going to stay with dad. It's a way to save money.
It does save money. Then you're not buying all these random things that your kid's like, I have to have this. It's genius. And curbside pickup. Okay, I have a funny curbside pickup story. I'm like, do I share it? I am going to share it.
Yes. Why would you not?
So I had my sweet nephew, Linus, who has autism and ADHD and some other things. But one of his struggles is that when he sees somebody else has something or is something, he wants that. Like if somebody has a dog and he has a cat, he's like, I hate my cat, I want a dog. Like, that's how he gets. I mean, we just know it's gonna happen. You know, his parents know how to deal with it. Like, it just is. Like, we know it's gonna happen, and we just talk him through it. He really loves the color of African American skin. Loves it. So I have him in the car to do store pickup. And I'm like, you know, I go park in my spot, let them know I'm there. They're coming, and I see this young man. He's African American, and I'm like, uh-oh, what's gonna happen now? Because I know my nephew is going to be very vocal, and he had this beautiful, like, big afro, and I'm like, it's gonna happen. Sure enough, the young man opens my trunk. And before he even gets to my car, as he's walking up, Linus is like, he has brown skin. I'm like, he does. I want brown skin. Okay, Linus. Why can't I have brown skin? I hate my skin. I want brown skin. And then, so
no.
He throws
he's yelling it.
He's yelling it. The young man opens the trunk, and he's just yelling, I want brown skin. Why can't I have brown skin? I hate my skin. I want to tear my skin off. I want brown skin. And I'm just, there's nothing I can do. There's nothing I can say. Just, Linus really loved his skin. So the guy closes the door. He's like, have a good day. You too.
So you didn't explain to the guy,
No.
like, he has autism, this is how he processes things, he's not
I did not.
racist or prejudiced, or, I mean, well, he actually, I guess at that moment, is he racist towards white people? Caucasian?
He sounded very racist towards Caucasian. He hated white skin. I was just like, I think you could tell Linus is on the spectrum. So I think there was no explanation necessarily needed. But I just, right when I saw the young man walking up, I'm like, this is going to be an exciting event right now.
Oh, Linus.
I know, it's so funny.
You just never know what to expect. Just like Linus likes everybody else's birthdays, right?
Yes.
Like, if it's someone else's birthday.
Yes. If it's someone else's birthday, he wants it to be his birthday. He hates his birthday. He wants their birthday to be his birthday. It's a whole thing. It's a whole thing. But it's, yeah, he's hilarious.
If you take him to a grocery store, like you were walking into the grocery store, does he handle that okay?
I've done it many times. Yeah, he's just a little difficult because he's not aware of people around him or like personal space. And so he'll just like bulldoze into people a little bit. Or if he sees something, he has like impulse control issues. So he'll like just beeline towards something. He'll knock things down. But yeah, I've taken him many times to the grocery store. I just gotta get a good grip, but he's getting older and he's not doing it like to be naughty or anything. It's just the way his brain works. But he's also like the most friendly person. So he'll just talk to everybody or like tell everybody something interesting. Like, for example, we used to listen to the Lego Movie 2 soundtrack every time I had him. Like, that was the routine. In my car, we listened solely to the Lego Movie 2 soundtrack. Well, this time, because he's almost 11, all of a sudden, he is really into Alicia Keys' song, No One, No One, No One, No. It's got a great beat. I never realized the bass in it. He loves it.
Amazing song. He has great taste in
great
music.
taste. So we're listening to Alicia Keys' No One on loop. We go to church. We get to church. Everybody he meets, I listen to Alicia Keys' No One in the car. I listen to Alicia Keys' No One. He's just telling everybody, like anyone to listen. He's so excited. So that's the energy he brings into also the grocery store. He's friends with everyone, talking. Everybody loves it. Like because he's got these giant blue eyes and he's just so excited and he loves to talk to people. So he's a blast. You just have to be careful he's not like running into people. It's almost like if he feels a body, he like feels like the heat of a body, he has to like run into it. I don't know. He's just, or if somebody is loud, he like runs over to them. So anyway,
I love that. He's excited. He's excited about Alicia Keys, excited to be at the grocery store.
Yes.
Excited about meeting new people. I mean, maybe we need to kind of bring that excitement when we go grocery shopping.
Yes. Hey, everyone, guess what I listened to in the car just now? I love your skin. I hate my skin. I want your skin. How do you think that would go down? I love your skin, but I hate mine. Can I have your skin? Can I destroy my skin?
Oh,
it's amazing.
Linus. Yes, because you see the world through someone else's eyes and someone else's
Yeah, he's
worlds.
got an amazing imagination and amazing world going on. So anyway, we're out of time. I hope we were somewhat helpful.
I think we were.
Or we just entertained ourselves.
We just talk all the time about grocery stores. I would like to say that you just don't know. You go into the grocery store, you think you're getting a few items. You don't know what's going to happen. You might hear that someone else listened to Alicia Keys. Someone else might shut down all the registers.
No,
you might
it's
buy
an adventure.
a whole bunch of items you don't mean to because your kids are throwing things in the cart. Like, you just don't know. You never know. You never know when you go to the grocery store what to expect.
Or sometimes, like, you really need this one thing, and all they have is, like, they don't have the normal size amount. All they have is, like, the super size of, like, say, they have, like, a 30-pound bag of rice, and that's the only rice they have. And you're like, well, I guess we're 30 pounds of rice, people. And you make rice for the next 2 years. So
get that
it
deal.
happens.
Get that deal. Or you might run into a friend, right, at the grocery store. How many times do you run into people that you know? It's always when I'm really looking like a mom who's exhausted. That's when I run into people. Like,
nice.
When I have not done my hair, put on makeup, I'm just looking very much like a mom who's tired, and I represent that well. When I lived in San Diego, I used to run into your mom all the time at Target. It was like all the time.
It was like your hangout spot.
Yes, unexpected time at Target. Always with Aunt Cindy.
Good times. Good times. I randomly twice now have ran into people on Spirit flights that I knew from another time.
Really?
This last flight to Texas flew Spirit. A sweet girl that I totally know who actually stayed at my house once, like 15 years ago. I had met her at a women's retreat. Anyway, she was on our plane. She's like, hey. And I'm like, hey. She's like, you remember me? I remember you. And we had the same flight together. It was amazing. And then the time before that, I was getting on a plane. A lady I knew from when I worked at the women's shelter. She had worked at the women's shelter too. She had changed jobs and she was getting off the flight I was about to get on, and we caught up. That has nothing to do with anything, but I just think that's weird, right?
It's meant to be.
One time, Chris was at a random layover in North Carolina, sitting at like a Starbucks or something, like waiting for his flight, and he looks and he sees one of his cousins from New York.
He saw a cousin?
From New York.
No way.
They went swimming together in the hotel pool. Because they ended up both, like, staying there.
That's amazing. So whether it's the grocery store or the
or
airport, you never know who you're going to run into.
Be
now,
prepared.
I will tell you, in San Diego, it's a lot more just, like, accepted that if you're in the grocery store with sunglasses on, it's cool. Like, nobody says anything. You know, like, sometimes when you're, like, you just wear sunglasses in the grocery store. Sometimes you forget that you're even wearing sunglasses, right?
Yeah.
Or, like,
if you're wearing readers, you're like, do I have readers? Like, I've literally been looking at something, like, thinking I had my readers on, and I'm like, why is it so dark? And it's my sunglasses.
Yeah, because you forget. Yeah. Not so much in Texas, which is a huge bummer. Because I used to kind of... Well, they just don't wear sunglasses in stores. Like, one time I was at the store and I ran into someone. She's like, oh, going extra cool today. And I was like, what? And she's like, your sunglasses are on. I was like, oh, you're right. And I took off my sunglasses. And that's shortly after I had moved here. And so you can't really hide out because you know how many times as us moms, we'll just put on, like, I always wear big sunglasses, kind of like, oh, I'm not, to have, my hair's not done, my makeup's not done.
You can't see me.
No.
I have my special glasses on.
I've only had 1 cup of coffee. Put your
That's
sunglasses
when you need
on.
a mask. If you have a mask, no one can tell.
Yeah, those days have
Except
come
for
and
masks.
gone.
I enjoyed the mask in the grocery store for that reason. I mean, I don't wear it now.
I never know who anyone is anyway. And then all of a sudden they have a mask on. Like, I don't know.
The worst is like if somebody had like a mask and glass and they're trying to talk to you and you're trying to buy something and you're like, I legit cannot hear anything right now. And you're like putting your ear up to the glass. Just like, please. Anyway, we've rambled on.
It's been great. Mother Funny Tribe, like us, share us, tell a friend, join us on YouTube at Mother Funny Podcast or at Mother Funny. We hope you enjoy the next time you go grocery shopping. We do. We hope you have a great grocery shopping experience.
Ask Angie for all her crock pot recipes and dances.
Yes, I will forward them to you all.
Buy your Vienna Sausages and your Hamburger Helper if you want to save a buck. All right. Bye. All right. That's all we have time for today. We got to wrap it up, unfortunately. But just remember, you might think you're doing just okay, but we think you're doing really great.
Thanks for hanging out with us today. We hope you have a great Mother Funny day. Please like and share our podcast.
But please don't tell our moms.